correspondence to the Hindu and Egyptian tradition for the awakened soul and the 5 koshas or 5 layers of our soul. Taking this one step forward, a giant leap forward, the rainbow colors that surround the cosmic Christ resurrection body also correspond to the 5 colors of the Tibetan rainbow body of light tradition, in which the human body is dissolved into 5 pure essences. The Tibetans teach that the Great Perfection's rainbow body is the product of the human body being dissolved into pure light. And it's actually constituted by the 5 pure lights. They are associated with the 5-colored Himalayan rainbow, which is white, yellow, red, green, and blue. The 5 pure lights are understood as pure light energy and are considered to be the most sublime essence quality of the 5 classical elements, namely space, air, water, fire, and earth. These are the elements that composed our many-colored dream coat. And when all the colors are mixed, they become white. This is the original bright white light body of the angels. This is the robe of the soul. Now, the Gnostic Gospel of Philip is very enlightening about this. It tells us that the Lord rose from the dead. He became as he was, but now his body was perfect. Well, that sounds like the great perfection of the Tibetans. Philip goes on to say that he, the cosmic Christ, possessed flesh, but this was true flesh. Our flesh isn't true, says Philip. Ours is only an image of the true. Then Philip goes on to say that we must become perfect before leaving this world. This is explicitly echoing the Tibetan idea that in order to leave Earth, we must attain our perfect rainbow body of light and dress our soul in its perfect light body. This is a very clear reference to the attainment of the robe of the soul. So, what are we to do with all this? How do we incorporate this into our life? Well, for one thing, it prompts us to recognize the sacredness of our soul and the immense power enfolded within our human body. It tells us about the power of our soul to put on a 5-fold robe of light. So why do we want to do that? Well, in closing, I want to share some insights about this shining coat from Yaqui sorcerer Don Juan, as documented by Carlos Castaneda in his book, The Active Side of Infinity. Like the Gnostics and the Apostle Paul, Don Juan taught that there is an alien predator that thinks of and treats humans as property, slaves. Don Juan believed that they use or used humans as a food source and can overlay the human psyche in order to keep us dumbed down and unaware of their influence. However, he teaches, it's possible to dislodge them through discipline by allowing ourselves to be immersed in destructive emotions, fear, anxiety, anger, strife, jealousy, competitiveness, the dog-eat-dog mentality we hold at minimum, what Don Juan calls our shining coat of awareness, and thus serve the alien agenda. This shining coat is, in my opinion, the robe of the soul, or the rainbow light body. And Don Juan says that we can rebuild our shining coat and no longer be under the influence of those dark forces by removing the self from our focus of existence. Get out of our ego, in other words. This is Essene Gnosticism and Jewish mysticism as pure as it gets. And it gets to the heart of our work together on the rainbow body of light and illuminating and awakening our soul. This is called the perfect garment by the Gnostics, who claimed that a group of extraterrestrial beings called archons would not be able to see us once we put on our light body garments. As the Gospel of Philip says, the powers, archons, do not see those who are clothed in this perfect light, and consequently are not able to detain them. one will clothe himself in this light sacramentally in the union. The Gospel of Philip continues saying, not only will the archons be unable to detain the perfect man, but they will not be able to see him. For if they see him, they will detain him. There is no other way, says Philip, for a person to acquire this quality except by putting on the perfect light and he too becoming perfect light. In my view, this perfect light is a beautiful description of the Tibetan great perfection and the attainment of the rainbow light body. Don Juan taught that spiritual discipline makes our glowing coat of awareness unpalatable to the predators. The result is that the predators become bewildered. An inedible, glowing coat of awareness is not part of their cognition, he said, and after being bewildered by us, they don't have any recourse other than refraining from continuing their nefarious task. Don Juan continued, saying that if the predators don't eat our glowing coat of awareness for a while, it will keep on growing. And simplifying this matter to the extreme, he says, I can say that sorcerers, by means of their discipline, it meant getting out of the ego again, push the predators away long enough to allow their glowing coat of awareness to grow beyond the level of the toes. And once it grows beyond the level of the toes, it grows back to its natural size. So here's my message derived from Don Juan. That is that if manifesting the full rainbow light body seems intimidating, Don Juan is offering us encouragement. To protect ourselves from the predator, we may only need to raise it to the level just beyond the toes. Philip again, but when it is revealed, then the perfect light will flow out on everyone, and all those who are in it will receive the chrism, the oil. Then the slaves will be free and the captives ransomed. Can you imagine a world in which everyone wears their rainbow of the soul or their robe of the soul? Maybe they lift it up only to their toes. Meditate on that. Visualize that. Actualize that. And until next time, be humble, let your light shine. Namaste. This is William Henry. Thank you for watching.